for AIDS. Rock Hudson just passed away. So whatever I do, I want you to match. And she said, I'm gonna do it. So the deal was that you were asked to have a dinner party in your mansion, invite 9 couples, including yourselves, 10 couples. Each couple had to give $10,000. And they would send celebrities to dine with you. And then after the dinner, limousines would come, take you all down to the Fontainebleau, where you met with Elizabeth Taylor and all the celebrities. And believe me, there were many. So Don Sofer, again, without his napkin, he said, I'm not gonna do that. Well, what are you gonna do? He said, we'll do it at the country club. And he got an anonymous donor to underwrite this phenomenal dinner. But instead of $10,000, he made it so we could not only raise money, but awareness. And we had a committee, and guess who was on the committee? Carol. So, as Joan Crawford would say, this ain't her first time at the rodeo. So we raised the $200,000 that we were asked to, and we had all these movie stars. And I did not know that Van Johnson was gay. And my parents were there, and I honestly can tell you, I got outed by Van Johnson because he did not leave me alone. I also had Peter Allen and Gail Storm and Eve Arden and Arlene Francis with a diamond heart. So those were the celebrities that they sent to our dinner. And what they did with our dinner, they brought in couples instead of 10,000. You could give 2,500, 5,000, and 10,000. So many people gave the money and were a part of it, but only the people that gave 10,000 were able to go down to the Fontainebleau for coffee and dessert and be with Elizabeth Taylor and all of the celebrities. But we used to meet in my apartment at Turnberry, and Elizabeth Taylor's PR agent, Shen Sam, would send us those old VHS tapes of Elizabeth Taylor talking to our committee, which we were about 7 or 8 people. And Elizabeth Taylor spoke about herself in the third person. So like when she would telling us, you know, you should be doing this now, you gotta get your invitations out with it. And she would say, Elizabeth feels, and Elizabeth this, and I never forgot it. But that brought us up to the 90s. So here we are. And if you have anything you wanna know that I can answer, raise your hand, please. Yes?
Just as a point of information, this is a funny story. You keep on referring to Arlen Realty. I was the realtor for 20 years at the Arlen House on 158th and Collins, and I tried to get the corporation Arlen Realty, and because they already gave it to them, I had to become Bayview Realty.
Huh.
And Bayview Realty was the name of the street, Bayview Drive.
Right. Yeah, that property, I wrote to them, I used to write a column called Take 2 on Tables and Call Me in the Morning. And that building really upgraded. They took down the terraces that they, you know, the railings, and they were one of the first to put up the glass. And it was smart because that whole area, the value went up like crazy. Okay, anybody else have a question or something you want?
I just wanted to say something. I just have a little PS here. I mean, it all sounds oh so glamorous and over the top. And you have to remember, it was the late 70s and the 80s, and it was over the top and glamorous. And the whole vision of the Sofer family, the Leibowitz family, all the people who came from all the other cities, it was marketing that had never ever been done before anywhere. So the fact that they went to England and London to show off in the nightclubs and everywhere else in the south of France and Italy to bring the vision of this new development. Nobody had ever used movie stars before to promote anything, or politicians, and this was all used at the time. And it was very la-di-da, and it was very community, charitable community. We also started the Miami City Ballet was started here. We were 6 or 8 people in Don Sofer's apartment, and Edward Villela came, and his costume designer, and 2 ballet dancers, and we raised money and we started a ballet company. We not only worked on AIDS, we worked on almost every single charity that ever came through, but it was all part of community involvement and being in the times that it was. The beginning of the temple, when we moved the Torahs from the storefront and walked down the street to bring them to this building, which was not built at the time, but it did have a safe place to keep the Torahs.
And they put the coins in the
And they
foundation.
put the coins in the foundation. So it was all in building up this kind of a community, and of course, we have a cachet here where we have to live up to it, and that's when people started to move from everywhere else here, and their children have stayed here, and the other children
And
at the
the
schools,
grandchildren.
and, exactly, so it was the times also, I say that.
And then when they built the point, we did I became president of the Aventura chapter of Alzheimer's Care Committee Notables. And I don't know if anybody remembers the Notables at Miami Jewish, but we created our own chapter. And the developer of the point, which was Coscan Homes, had brought in Al Piazza, who came from Williams Island. And we would do luncheons and invite people to join Notables. And Notables at that time were $1,000, and it gave you the opportunity to create a sense of permanency and belonging into the community. And then we'd have other charities where we would do luncheons, because not only did they want to develop the area and promote what they were selling, a sense of community was very important. And really, if I didn't make it clear, I apologize. The big site on the northern part of the Aventura, 785 acres, was bought up by Coscan Homes. So that was a Canadian company. And they started in the 80s with Costain and the waterways. And then the development of the marina. But in 1994, they announced the development of the point of Aventura, the 5 towers, Atlantic 2, Atlantic 1, Rainier and 1, Atlantic 3, which are on the side facing east, bordered by 30 or 40 waterfront courtyard homes. And then on the west side of the property, there are 2 towers, the North and South Tower, and has a very big spa. And that was developed in the 90s. It opened, Atlantic 2, I lived there, in 96, and it's all built out.
My kids live in the south.
Huh?
My kids live in the south in the point.
I live in the North Tower.
No, they're in the south. The spa is fabulous.
Our spa is gorgeous.
Oh my God. Gorgeous.
So we're basically all built out. In fact, when Maurice mentioned how crazy the loop is on the causeway, when you go east on the causeway, you have to go under the overpass, and there was this plot of land that Sofer spoke about for so many years, maybe as like a convenience shop or a little shopping center, but now it's being developed as
Assisted living.
a retirement, yeah, because, and it's smart, like, you know, when they sold the land to the Pritzkers for the V, that was just brilliant because it's high end and it's wonderful. We just met a very dear friend whose mom lived at the V. She unfortunately passed away, but loved every minute of it because she had socialization, the dinners, and it was just really great. But, so now they're adding this other property. When you come on the causeway, it's a very big building.
It's huge.
It's huge.
It will be when
It's not necessary.
So far, it has 8 floors that I could see.
It's going to 11.
Is it
But there's a need for it. There is
independent
a
or,
need for it.
is it independent living or assistant.
I don't really know too much about it, but the way that they talk
But
about
there's another one
building,
right across the street.
it's probably going to be mixed, like so many floors, independent and also assistant. So like at the V, it's brilliant because if you're living in the independent part and something happens, you can move right across the street to the next building, which is assisted living. And I hear from many, many people, the rehab is great.
I hear that
Very
too.
good, I spent 2 months there.
So I wanna thank you
I hear
because
it's great.
today, this, was scheduled for something else.
Thank
And I
you.
was told, please, my pleasure. But you know what? You guys are artists now, and when you're an artist, you can't be creative without being flexible. So, from bad comes good. So I understand from Carol that we were gonna look at the mikvah, but there's a leak.
A leak in the middle.
There's a leak in the mikvah. But wait, if you brought your bikinis.
So I said to Stuart, there's a leak in the mikvah, the rabbi would like us to delay it. He said, we were gonna put on our bathing suits and go.
So we're gonna do tote bags in 2 weeks?
I don't know if it's here or there. Is it new? Yes.
The Light family donated.